right, welcome back to the IMNerd podcast. I'm your host, Frayway. I'm here with my amazing and brilliant co-host, Kenny. So
hello.
This week, we started a new series on the channel where Kenny and Cairo, a true hero, as some of you may know him, they started a variety show, and that is going to be coming out with episode 2 very soon. But check out episode 1 if you haven't already. That is something new on the channel. I love the variety show. I watched it. It's like you guys doing all types of different things. You do dual puzzles. What would you do with this hand? You do the Who's That Yugi-mon? There's a bunch of different things.
We're going to try to do different stuff too. Like, we're going to just try to add random shit for the variety.
Yeah.
And yeah, just have fun. It's just like a fun thing, and then also still has like some interesting Yu-Gi-Oh content in it. And I had a lot of fun. My favorite part is just the intro. The intro jingle is my favorite part of the whole thing.
I do miss when we did the progression series, we had our little jingle.
The little jingle, yeah. That's something I missed too. That's why I did a jingle for this. I was like, I missed the progression series jingle. So I was like, I'm doing a jingle.
I had an idea to do an intro for Teach Me How to Cook, and I just have never gotten around to it. But basically, it was going to be to the beat of Teach Me How to Dougie. And I wanted to be like dancing with the, because you know I bought the chef hat on Amazon, so I have an actual chef hat that I have on all the thumbnails. So I have the chef hat, I have the fake mustache, which is actually a real mustache. It's not like AI or anything. That's like a real mustache that I bought on Amazon. So I have the mustache, the chef hat, and I was going to get in front of my green screen and record me like dancing and you being ridiculous with like a pot and a pan or something like that. And just like, teach me how to cook, teach me how to cook, teach me how to cook, teach me how to cook. Everybody cooking, like that type of thing. But I just never got around. So I might still do that because that series deserves an intro as well. And so I've been inspired by the variety show having an intro. And I'm like, damn, I need to make an intro for the fucking teacher.
I love it. Intros are fun, man. Fun little intros. Like, they're cool.
Yeah, I'm super excited about the channel's growth. Speaking of growth, why don't we get into that? So we're almost at 9,000 subscribers. We are like 30 away from having 9,000. And I guess I would announce it here officially before we talk about it and officially announce like the giveaway. So when we get to 9,000, which I assume will be within the next 7 days, we'll be at 9,000 subscribers. They'll raise from 9,000 to 10,000, which will trigger 2 things. One, there will be the haircut where I get this fucking terrible Ronaldo haircut thing.
I cannot, but first of all, not Ronaldo, okay?
I don't know
put that on my guy.
What's his name?
Don't put that on Ronaldo.
Isn't that his name?
Ronaldo is the greatest soccer player of all time. That's not the guy.
Well, that's not
Unless
true.
His name's also Ronaldo.
I'm pretty sure he's not the greatest soccer player of all time.
Listen,
Cristiano
Ronaldo?
Ronaldo?
People. Cristiano Ronaldo, he's the greatest.
Greatest soccer. I thought it was like, I don't know if it was Messi or Neymar.
I knew you were going to say the wrong name. I knew you were going to say the wrong name.
Messi is literally, it says Messi is literally
out of here.
It says he's literally the most decorated player of all time.
Nobody cares about Messi.
Listen,
nobody.
You can't just dispute facts though, bro. You can't just be like, all right, it's like
it's Ronaldo.
It's the guy I like the most. Like, it doesn't work like that. Oh, also, no, the guy's name is Ronaldo. Who the haircut
his name is too?
Yeah, no, I'm not even joking. His name is Ronaldo, Luis Nazario de Lima, but his name is Ronaldo Luis Nazario de Lima. First of all, he's like 8 names, but his name is Ronaldo.
Well, I mean,
I do know who you're talking about though. Cristiano Ronaldo is the most popular.
Yeah.
I think he is the most popular person on Instagram. Like, I remember his profile being is like The Rock,
something like that.
Him, Selena Gomez, Kim. It's like a couple people, but I know he's also a very beautiful man. Like, when he was younger, he's a little older now, so things are kind of changing. But I remember looking at him and being like, like, we're all getting older. But so I'm getting the haircut, the Ronaldo haircut. And
the point of that, I still cannot believe, I can't imagine you. That's going to hurt your soul.
Oh,
it's going to hurt your soul.
I have been thinking about going back on my word. Like, this last month, I was looking at my hair. Like, I was really enjoying my hair in this last month. I'm not even going to lie to you. I was staring at it. I was like, man, like, I really, really like my hair, and I'm getting older, right? My hair doesn't grow the same that it did when I was in my 20s and when I was younger than my 20s. And I'm noticing that because, you know, I'm just getting older. So I was like, man, I'm going to cut all of this off. And I said, even when I first announced that I would be doing this, that, you know, hopefully it just, you know, I said, it's hair, it'll grow back. Hopefully. There's always that addendum thing. Like, I hope that it grows back because I've never cut all of it off. I've never been bald before, basically. And this haircut, basically, it requires most of my head to be bald.
Yeah. So it's going to be an experience seeing Frazier like that. It's going to be crazy.
Hopefully it grows back quickly because, and I take like biotin supplements every day. I naturally do that. I take meds 1 a day. And I just do a lot of hair care and just like general stuff. But the biotin I take makes my nails and hair grow faster, which I've definitely noticed since I've been taking it for the last 5 years. And so that's the thing. But yeah, so we're going to trigger, that's going to be a thing. But also, finally get to say this, I purchased a Nintendo Switch 2 like 3 months ago. when it first came out. I think it's been like 3 months now, right? Nintendo Switch 2 has been out for months, and I purchased it basically when it came out, and I've just had it sitting in my house, just chilling this entire time, unopened, completely unopened. And so when we get to 9,000, which again will be very soon, we're going to do a giveaway for when we get to 10,000 for the Nintendo Switch 2. So that's something that is being planned for the channel. Stay tuned for details on that giveaway. Me and Kenny still have to work out like the kinks of that, but that is going to be the biggest giveaway that we've done on the channel. Yes. So we will be getting
10K.
Race to 10K. Yep. So we're still in Q3, technically it's September, but Q4 is the beginning of October 1st starts Q4. So it's the last stretch of the year. And I want to 100% be at 10K before we end 2025. That is a huge milestone for YouTube channels and a huge milestone for our channel, which it's just experienced a lot of growth in the last couple years. And I'm really excited about that. Loving the content that we're putting out. You guys seem to love it as well. And every time I go to an event, the love is just insane. So you guys make it hard for me to even focus on playing my game sometimes because of how much I get, shown love and stuff. Even when I remember one guy was sitting across from me, he's playing his opponent. So like he's next to my opponent basically. And I'm side decking. I just won game 1 because I won almost every game 1, right? And he goes, "Hey, I didn't want to bother you, but I noticed that you're side decking right now. I just want to say I love the channel. I love all your videos. I watch every single one. You and Kenny are hilarious." And he just says that. And I was like, I appreciate you waiting until you saw me side decking. And mind you, he's dueling, by the way. Like he's roll insuring his opponent. And he's like, I literally have been like looking over while I'm like trying to play my own game to just wait until you were like not actively dueling to say, by the way, awesome. And his opponent's just like losing the game and just kind of sitting there salty, like, now you're congratulating the fucking guy sitting next to me while you're dugging on me. Like, pay attention.
Damn.
Yeah, so that was
awesome.
funny.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Guy. Yeah, that's awesome. It's super cool just to see the love and the appreciation and just all of that crap. I mean, we do it. We have fun. We do this because it's fun. And it's cool to have other people have fun while we're having fun. It's all a big entertainment circle.
Yes. Kenny, I want you to know there's this thing that I've been noticing about you lately. What? You have terrible mic control, my friend.
Yeah?
I know. So for people who are wondering, Kenny's audio just now was going up and down because for people who are watching this video version, you know what he was just doing. He was kind of like fixing his shirt or something. So he kind of like stood up a little bit. It was like moving around and his head is swaying left and right. So his voice I'm looking at the audio levels and his voice is going like up and down as he's talking. And when I'm editing some of these videos that we put out together, I'll be noticing because I can see the audio waves when we do like Master and Disaster every week. Me and him both edit Master and Disaster. And I can see some of the times his audio thing is like really small. And then I look at the screen, I look up at him, I'm like, Kenny is just looking away from his mic. Like he's completely talking away from his microphone. It's just so funny. You're such an animated talker.
I'm sorry. It's I just can't help myself. I'm a mover.
You are.
I just can't stay still.
Yeah, I'm such a stoic person.
Around, banging stuff. Yeah, you're like you sit there. I
sit.
Can't do that.
My mic is pointed directly at my mouth. So like literally the entire time that we're doing the podcast, I'm pretty consistently like right here. There are moments where I might move to the side, look at my phone real quick to check if like some people might text me or something. But for the most part, my shit's on do not disturb, and I'm literally like right in front of the mic at all times. Even during the videos where we're dueling, the mic is like directly in front of my mouth. But Kenny, he has the microphone off to the side, so it's not even in front of him to begin with. Like his microphone is just like off. It's like off to the side.
My setup is weird because I have my monitor set away. I have my camera. If I put my microphone in front of me, it covers my face. So like I have to have it to the side when I kind of talk into it. And then it's like, and then if I'm looking at a monitor to see what you're doing, it ends up like if I look over here to see you.
Yeah, you're talking away from it then. Yeah, I see what you mean too. But as soon as you put your microphone in front of you, because your microphone is on a stand, so it's like mine is on a boom arm. So for people who know what that is, it's like literally an arm that is stretched from the right side of my table, and it's just making my microphone float in the air in front of me. So you don't see my microphone in any video really. You see the boom arm, but you never see the actual microphone. But Kenny just moved his in front of him, and we were able to I was able to just see that it does cover your mouth. Like it covers the whole bottom of your face when you do that.
Yeah. Just cover it. I'm all covered up.
I get it. It's just funny. It's just funny because I'm just like, this man will move around. I'll be editing and I'll start raising your audio levels on certain parts because I'm like, we need to be able to hear the king. Like we got to be able to hear him. He just set some goals.
I move around. There was something I was going to say about me moving around like a nut job, but I don't even remember what it was.
This is who you are. I watched the, you have the little anime clip in the variety show in the middle where like, it's just you being ridiculous and it's in black and white. Yeah. And it's like in the middle of the video, which I think is amazing, by the way. I love the little like anime insert thing.
I'm so happy you understood what that was. It was like like for anybody that doesn't know, in the variety show that we just put out, like in the middle of the episode, it kind of cuts to just something random.
Yeah.
The idea is that it's similar to, if you ever watch an anime, at the middle of an anime episode, it'll like cut away for like the commercial break and it'll do something random and then it comes back doing something random. So yeah.
Yeah, love it. So this is also the week after RBET Chicago, and I topped with Frog TK. I was really excited about that. It built my confidence back up. I know a lot of people might be surprised about this. Maybe not. I don't know how people feel about this type of thing, but a lot of you guys consider me to be a really good player, and I have all types of things that I think about as I continue my journey throughout Yu-Gi-Oh! And so I have a lot of successful hero frogs, and I have like random tops with like Black Wings Amarillo, stuff like that. Last year, Dream Frogs, and then Frog Monarchs. I've played other decks, but most of my successes with hero frogs. And so I had tried to play Frog TK back at YCS Houston in April before I went to Japan. And I don't think that I necessarily like did something wrong when I was playing it. I played against the weirdest bracket I've ever had till like in my entire life of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For probably like 20 years total now. I had the weirdest bracket I've ever had in Houston. Not just John's. My bracket was 5 frogs and 3 GBs. And I ended up going X2. I lost to 2 of the 3 GBs and I beat every single frog. All the other 5 frog players, I beat all of them. Like pretty badly too. Like I beat every single frog player and I beat 1 of the GB players and lost to 2 of the GB players. When I lost to the 2 GB players, it wasn't like I got dominated. They were both game 3 and they both top decked something very specific to like win the game. For example, GYBU, I remember he has nothing but 1 card in hand and I have a Death Frog. And I have something else that if I get 1 turn where he doesn't really do anything, I stabilize and the game will 100% be over. He draws for turn, so he has 2 cards total now. And he goes, Summon Prisma. He slams Prisma and then slams Test Tiger, basically. And I was like, wow. And everybody because there was a crowd watching. And everybody in the crowd was like, that was insane. And I was like, which one did you draw? After I was like, which one did you draw? And he was like, I drew the Test Tiger, because I was thinking if he already had Test Tiger, there's a lot of outs to Death Frog if you have Test Tiger already, right? Any GB or any like Prisma, any monster basically is fine, except the number Test Tiger, of course. But any monster is fine if you already have the Test Tiger. Having the Prisma against a Death Frog, no, Death Frog has 1900 attack. Prisma is a vanilla monster essentially. Like that just made it so that's how I got essentially eliminated from Ultimate Time Wizard Houston, and I still got top 16, but they cut the top 8. So it was kind of those things that just sucked. And I was thinking about that tournament, like what could I have done differently? Like I'm not saying that I necessarily played perfect, because I don't believe that I necessarily played perfect in every game, but like it did still come down to both of the times I lost to the deck, both of the times I lost to GBs, it was very specific things where they literally are down horrendous and they top deck something that is exactly what they need to like either win the game or get back in the game, and then it just kind of goes from there. And it really did suck that happened twice. So I was like, maybe I shouldn't play this deck, because like if I run into GBs, am I always going to just like be coin flipping that matchup? Am I going to be losing that matchup every time? So I really was thinking about maybe I shouldn't play it. So basically what I'm saying is RBT Chicago was probably, if I didn't top RBT Chicago, and like I felt pretty dominant in that event, honestly, like with the deck, I felt like I didn't really care who my opponent was, which is kind of like a byproduct of playing that deck anyway. Like I didn't really care who you were. And I didn't really care if I won a die roll or not, which is also pretty strong about that deck, I would say. Like winning die roll makes it...
That's so ignorant.
It makes it that much stronger, but I won. I'm pretty sure I won half my die rolls and I lost half my die rolls, but that didn't really factor into my wins. Like for example, the only game one that I lost, I won the die roll actually. So like the die roll did not matter, and I won the other 7 game ones that I won out of 8. I won and lost the die roll, like it was just like completely random or whatever.
Yeah.
So I really like the deck, and I really think the deck is really strong, and I've been preaching about it in my videos and saying like it is the real deal. I think it's better than Gigavice. I think it's better than Dragon Turbo. I think it's better than like pretty much all the like casino type decks and all the other combo decks. I think it's just strictly better than all of them. But I wanted to also like show and prove And that's the kind of person I am. I like to back up what I say. I don't like to just say, like, I think Hero Frogs are so good, and then I don't actually do well with Hero Frogs. Like, I don't push the envelope on Hero Frogs. So when I say things, I literally like to show, like, why I think I'm right. And I've accomplished that already with Hero Frogs, but I wanted to now start moving into the space of playing more like Froggo TK, because it is much harder for me to play that deck. Hero Frogs feels like a walk in the park at this point. I'm not really, like, it's not to say that I can't learn anything. I did try to duplicate build for a while, and that was cute, but I just don't think that it is correct. I don't think it gels well with the way I like to play, the way I think about Frogs, and the way I like to play Frogs. The duplicate build, I see what they did, and I understand it. It is a direct counter to Sizzle's deck. So Sizzle's deck plays 2 main deck DDVs. The dupeless Hero Frog has removed Junk Synchron, Unifrog, both dupe frogs, and essentially what it's doing is it's just cutting down on the cards that get DDV'd, which makes a lot of sense. Like, I totally understand the logic. They only have 10 DDV monsters, and 2 of them are Treeborn Frogs. So technically, there are 8 cards in a deck that can even be DDV'd in the dupeless Hero Frog deck, which means that if it gets DDV, usually it doesn't do anything. And that is strong. Like, that is very blatantly, from a meta standpoint, from just understanding Yu-Gi-Oh!, your opponent loses 2 cards when they DDV. They lose the monster and the DDV itself. So they need to hit at least 2 of your cards in order for it to be worth it. And obviously they get hand knowledge, which is really important. But like, if they hit nothing, Hero Frogs are so powerful that you can't just hit nothing. It's not...
Yeah, going -2 is crazy.
Yes, me and Gary tested that matchup a lot because Gary's a value player. We tested a lot. And every time Gary DDV'd me, he lost. And he lost pretty badly because it would be like he DDV'd me. I would show him my hand, and then I would just go like E-call for Stratos on his open field now because he took away his aggression. So now Stratos search Alias and then attack for 18, and now I'm following up. Like, it just got really bad. Then I set a D prison too, and like, sure, you know all my cards, but Hero Frogs is so powerful that it's not a deck that you can afford to just hit nothing.
Yeah,
like the hand knowledge. What I'm saying is the hand knowledge is not enough to win against Hero Frogs by itself. Some of the decks you can DDV them and not hit 2 cards. You can hit like 1 card, but the hand knowledge, you're playing value. Value is really powerful, obviously. And the hand knowledge is so strong that it overcomes the fact that you didn't really hit anything. You can't hit nothing against Hero Frogs and win. You're not going to win. At least not against a competent person.
Hitting nothing is so rough.
Yes.
Like, just going -2, hitting nothing, and then Frogs just doing what Frogs do. I mean, we already know it's one of the strongest decks.
Yes.
So if you go -2 against it for just fun, like, it's gonna get bad.
Yeah. So yeah, I tried all these things. I've been trying out different versions of Hero Frogs. I like so many different people's builds. I like Dimitri's build from Indianapolis last year. I like Ronek's original build. I like the Duplis build, and I like my build obviously the most. But I was like, I feel like at this point I need to challenge myself, and that for me is where I get some fun from dueling, because as you guys know, I do not enjoy dueling. It's honestly the least thing that I like about the game at this point. Like, I prefer everything else. I say the same thing all the time. I prefer commentating. I prefer deck building. I prefer spectating. I prefer like just talking about the game. And literally any other part of it than dueling.
You know what, though? It makes sense, because if you think about it, Yu-Gi-Oh's been a part of your life for God knows how long, right? Let's say since you were, I don't know, 12.
Yep. I think it was around 12, 13.
So Yu-Gi-Oh's been a part of your life for all of that time. You're now in your 30s. All of that time, if you think about it, has been spent dueling.
Yep.
For the most part.
Yeah.
So now you still love Yu-Gi-Oh! And like, dueling is the thing you've done for 15 years, probably more. The other aspects of Yu-Gi-Oh! Are just probably more fun and more interesting because it's something different. It's still Yu-Gi-Oh!, but it's something different. So like commentating, like you said, making content and, talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is more fun and interesting because these are the things you've probably done the least.
They are.
Dueling's what you've done the most.
I love that you said that.
Anything you do over and over again gets boring.
I love that you said that because I was literally thinking it as you were speaking. I was like, I guess I've done the content creating the least compared to dueling, right? Like, I dueled my entire 20s. I dueled my teenage years as well. So it wasn't until I became 30 that I started doing, like, this podcast didn't start until I was already 30. So yeah. At that point, like, that's when I started to get into the whole creative space. I never thought that I would be a content creator. I used to look down on the Yu-Gi tubers when I was younger, and like people did Yu-Gi tube. I never considered them to be serious. They always seemed like casuals. Obviously, there was like 1 or 2 that were not. Like Dale Bolito had a YouTube channel, but even he didn't really take YouTube as serious as like what content creators now, like what they really are doing. Content creating now is a whole thing. Like, it's a full-time job. You have channels like Simo and Pack, and like they're full, well-oiled machines, right? And we have aspirations of getting to that point as well, where it's like a complete production and everything like that. But the grind that you have to put in is like so different. So I never thought back then when it was just like a couple guys, like Jarrell had his channel, which I always liked his channel, Cordero, Audrey Tan, stuff like that. Those channels, the Yu-Gi tubers, I never took them as like, because I was always so competitive. I never took them as like, oh, these are competitive players. Like they're the same type of competitive.
You saw Yu-Gi-Oh through the competitive lens.
Yes, you're exactly right.
So to you, it was like, are you competitive? Do you top every tournament you enter?
Right. Because like also you have to look at my peers at the time. None of them had YouTube channels really. Like Jeff and Billy and Hoban and those guys would not, even if they had, like I know Billy technically had like a little channel, but he didn't really post on it either. He was also one of those guys that started a channel and it just went to the graveyard because he just wasn't consistent on it. So you have one of the greatest players of all time with a channel, but again, it's not what I'm really talking about when I say has a channel. I'm talking about people who posted every single week, sometimes every day. Only the casual content creators back then were like that. The competitive people, they wouldn't even give you their real ideas anyway. And that was the other thing that I kind of didn't really respect about content creating back then. It was like they would do a channel, right? You'd have a competitive player doing a channel. But I knew, because I'm smart, I'm like, this guy's not telling you what he's about to play for the YCS this weekend. He's just not. Like, he's not about to get on YouTube and tell you, yo, this is my 55 list, right? Like, this is the 40 plus the 15 side deck. He's not doing that.
No. Because it hurts, not ruins. It hurts his chances of doing well.
Yes.
Everybody's going to watch it and go, oh, this is what he's on. And then
they either copy it or they play
yeah,
exactly. They either copy it or they prep for it. So I never really respected it from a competitive standpoint. Then I got older. Now that I'm in this space, I don't care as much about the competitive part of my own journey. And it's weird because even though I say that, like I still clearly perform at a high level, but when I say I don't really care as much, it's like I'm now willing to be open and honest about opinions that I would have kept secret when I was competing in my 20s. There were things that I just would not say to the masses to gatekeep information, basically is what I'm saying. And a lot of players still do that now. I'm not going to call anybody out, but there are some top players who have YouTube channels, and just here's the thing that happens a lot. And there was a controversy about this, and we could talk about this. I want your opinion on this.
Okay, hit me.
Because this is actually a great thing to talk about. But a lot of top players who have YouTube channels right now, they will give you a roundabout idea of like what they think is good in the meta. So they'll be like, oh, here's my tier list going into YCS this. And then they'll go to the event, they'll top or win. And the deck that they'll top or win with would not be the deck that they said was the best deck. It won't be the deck that they sounded like they were going to play for sure. They would then do a video after they topped or won and be like, so I decided to go with this because in my testing, we were realizing, oh, we actually kind of beat the deck that is like the best deck or whatever. And so I ended up playing this deck, but like they just go left field. And I can tell they're doing that thing that I'm talking about where you don't really give the honest, this is what I'm really going to be playing this weekend, but I'm going to tell you that Sprite is the best deck. But watch me go and play something. I'm going to play Runic instead. But I'm going to say like, oh, pure Sprite is the best deck. But then they go and play Runic Sprite instead. And it's like, well, that's not what you were saying leading up to the event. You kind of like misled your audience a little bit. And I don't want to be that guy in Edison. I kind of just tell people like, yo, I do think Hero Frogs is just the overall best deck in the format. And I'm not lying to you when I say that. So there's the controversy I want to get into. Unless do you have something to say about it, or do you want to go into the controversy?
Yeah, so I think there's a couple interesting points there. One is there is a difference between a format that is not getting any changes and a format that changes all the time.
Yep.
Modern changes all the time. So for example, in Edison format, the format's not changing in terms of like what cards exist.
Yep.
So it is what it is. At some point, even though we still have new decks and new creative things happening, there was that variation on Vayu that happened.
Yes.
There was, and if you see the Master and Disaster episode where we're talking about Vayu, I am talking about, isn't there a different Blackwing deck that we played? And I couldn't remember what it was. And I just remembered that it was the Noble Blackwing deck that we literally played the week before, but it wasn't uploaded yet at the time of recording. Whatever.
Right.
So there's like iterations because the Noble Blackwing deck did some things differently than normal Blackwing.
Yep, we played like 5 traps first of all.
Yeah, the Vayu deck did something different. So there's iterations on those decks. There's a ton of iterations on Frogs, and there's also just iterations on other things. So there are iterations and things like that happen. However, for the most part, unless something drastic happens and we were all missing something crazy, for the most part, the top of the pyramid is still the top of the pyramid. So if Frazier comes on and says, I think Frogs is the best deck, you know he's not lying to you. It's the deck he's won with, top. Well, like, you can see it. It's that when he says it's the best, he goes and enters a tournament. Every time he tops or wins, it's that deck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's that. in a format that's ever changing, I understand still being a little bit unwilling to say what you think is the best or not the best, etc. Because you're still on the cutting edge of new cards coming out, and you being the one. There's a skill in discovering what the new cards are and what the builds are, etc.
Yep.
That said, I think it's a little scummy to if you're going to purposely mislead people and say, "Hey, I think this is the best," and you know it's not.
Yep.
I think that's a little
because they do know they didn't test the night before and figure out that they're going to change their deck after the video. They knew. They've been testing. It's the same way me and Gary and Cairo and Luke and everybody will test in our private Discord server, right? The house. We will test all different things in the house, right? And I could then go on YouTube and mislead everybody and say, I don't think this is good, knowing goddamn well that I'm about to play exactly what I told you wasn't good. Like I could do exactly that, and people do that type of thing to their audience, and then they go in and after they top or win and they explain, oh, I realized like it actually was really good, and that's why I decided to last.
But you didn't put out another video,
right?
You didn't let us know. But here's the thing: if you were good at something, chances are you should probably also be doing content creation for it in some degree.
I agree with that now that I'm older. Yep, 100%. I wish I knew that in my 20s, but you are 100% right.
Yeah, so all of the people that are really good at Yu-Gi-Oh, them doing content creation makes sense. Part of content creation is doing things like tier lists and stuff like that. So like they got to play the game. They got to do the thing. They got to pay the bills. So that makes sense, but you know, where everybody stands on it is different. I don't think I personally would ever purposely mislead someone and say something that I blatantly don't think is true. But you know, you got to play the game, I guess. You got to make your content. And if you don't want to give away your secrets, but there's probably a way to do it where you don't give away your secrets. You still provide good content, and you know people don't feel misled.
So
there's probably a way to do that.
Here's what Hoban would do. I'm gonna tell you two things. Here's what Hoban would do, and you're right. There is a way to do it without blatantly misleading people. There's the way where you can not spoon feed the answer directly to the community. This is what Patrick did with ARG. Also, I keep forgetting that I used to write articles for ARG, so I've always been a content creator, even when I was super competitive. I'm just realizing like that was just a different way of doing content, right? But like weekly articles, and they were competitive articles. I didn't write like every once in a while I would do like something fun, but for the most part, I did an article called "The Fiendishest of Chains," right? And that was literally before Fiendish Chain became a $40 card. I wrote an article telling people I think that this card is going to be insane very soon, and then it became a staple, and it became $40. Like after, so I wasn't lying. I had been testing it in private, and then I was like, yo, this card actually is really good against Dino Rabbit, is really good against windups. And I gave all these examples of like why it's good, and then it got bought out, and this whole thing happened. And people were like, oh, you're manipulating the market for ARG. That was like the accusation I got when I was like fucking 22 or some shit.
But it's so dumb though. How are you manipulating? You were, once again, if you were lying, then you were manipulating the market. Yeah. That's the thing. Like, if you lied and did that, and then you guys all sold your Fiendish Chains and made a bunch of money, then that would be market manipulation. But if you go and you say, hey, I think Fiendish Chain is broken.
Yeah.
And then it's actually broken. You didn't manipulate the market. You just said, hey, guys, this is broken.
Hey, I didn't tell anybody to buy it either. Like, I wasn't like, hey, buy it from my sponsor, ARG. I was just like, this card, like, what do you want? Do you not want me to tell you what's broken or not? Because people are begging for the answers. People always want the deck list. They always want the side guide. They always want the information spoon-fed directly to their veins.
You gave them what they wanted.
And then that's when I realized that people are not happy no matter what you do. Anyway, there's the way Patrick Hoban used to dish out information. He would blatantly, in a way, tell you what he was going to do the weekend of an event. So he would write an article every time there was a YCS or an ARG, the weekend coming up, right? That week's article would be about his thoughts going into it. So he would say, right now we're in a format where Mermail, Firefist, Spellbooks are all duking it out for like, what is the best deck? And he would say in a very long essay form, the weaknesses and strengths of those decks in his Patrick Hoban way. And at the end of it, and I love this, he would always summarize by going, the person who is able to figure out how to deal with Firefist's very simple play style and simplified game state, and Mermail's very complicated OTK style, will be able to do well or win the next event. And then he will win the next event with a deck that literally is what he described in the article. And if you were like reading between, now I had inside information because I'm literally his teammate, and he would send me his deck list every time. I had 5 out of 7 of his wins. I have the deck list before he ever used it. Like before he used it at the tournament, he would send it to me blatantly, and I never used one of his lists, which is crazy because they always look so weird. And by weird, I mean bad on paper. Like he would send me the list. I would literally look at it like, I think he's fucking with me. I think he's trying to get me to play some bad shit. And then he would play it. He would not even change. He wouldn't even change it. It wouldn't be like he would send it to me and then he'd be like, oh, I changed like 2 cards and I didn't tell you. Or what. He would play exactly what he sent me. And then I would see his winning deck profile. Like I won this YCS. I won this thing. I would see his winning list. And I'd be like, that's exactly what he sent me. Like it's not even a card different. So he would never lie to me. He would always send me the list, the winning deck list, right? In the same list that him and the Leverets and Desmond Johnson, they all would play the exact same list or whatever. He would send it to me and then he would write an article that, yes, it was cryptic in the sense that he didn't blatantly put his deck list in it. But if you were reading it, I'm reading it and I'm looking at his deck list that he's going to play. And I'm like, he's giving the answers though. Like it is here. He's saying like, if you can figure out how to do this, this is the best deck right now. And then he would take it and win the event with the best deck. If you could basically solve his riddle. He was like the Riddler.
I think that's really cool because to me, it sounds like it's not even like it's like he's teaching you, right? Like he's not giving you the answer, right? He's spelling it out. He's giving you the formula. You can look at it, you can read it. And if you read the information, you learn what you can about Fire Fist and Mermail. That's going to make you a better duelist going into those if you really internalize that. Even if you don't come to the conclusion he comes to,
right? If
you read that, that'll still make you better going into those matchups. So I really like that method of doing it where you really go into the pros and cons of it. And that also goes to talk about the different ways content creation exists. At the end of the day, everybody knows tier list goes hard, tier list go burr.
Tier list go burr.
I think that a lot of information is lost in that. So to give credit to, I have no idea which YouTubers may or may not be doing the thing we're describing, but to give them a little bit of credit, the way content works is you have to make a fucking tier list. So a new pack comes out, you tier list the pack.
Yep.
And you have to do that. And ideally, as you do it, you go through the video and they describe their pros and cons of each of the decks as you go through it. But realistically, what happens, everybody just skips to the end. They see the tier list and they go, okay, he said this is the best. And they move on with their fucking day.
Yep.
And it's unfortunate. Hey, if you watch a tier list video, watch the whole video. I promise you'll learn more than just skipping to the end. I fucking promise.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that, especially if it's from somebody that you respect their opinion and like you want to learn something. My tier list videos are long as fuck.
Even if you don't respect their opinion.
Oh shit.
That might make you realize how bad some people are.
Okay.
And you go, wait, this is what people think? This is what people think, and people are watching this, and then you read the comments and they're agreeing with him. Now you go into the tournament going, yo, they think this. I'm about to Dougie on these motherfuckers.
I do a little hate watching myself, but yeah, no, I get that. Like when it comes to tier lists, like I'll watch somebody's bad tier list and I don't know it's bad going into it, but then I start seeing their takes like 3 minutes in, I'm like, oh no, this is actually really bad. But yeah, so I get from a content creating standpoint, you're at odds with your competitive side. If you're still one of those people that's like super competitive, you're at odds with yourself when you're creating content because you're not going to give your audience who are actually your competitors the answer to beat you or the way to copy you. Because if your list is that broken, a lot of times it can be copied and used almost to the same degree. Like, you know what I mean? Like, also it can spread to the other good players who are actually on your level. And then they're like, we weren't even on, our camp wasn't on this, but now that this shit is out, thank you for the idea. This is actually such a much better idea than what we were doing. We were not even on this. So I get it. I shoot them some bail in that space because I'm both a competitive player and a content creator, but now I'm a content creator first and I'm a competitor second. And that is just how I am. Now, I want to get into the controversy thing, but I do want to say one last thing on the whole Chicago thing. I'm happy I topped it. It gave me my confidence to play Frogo TK. And like I said, the tournament for me wasn't necessarily like difficult. Like I actually felt really in control of my matches, and my first loss was completely to myself. If you haven't heard me talk about it, I gave an exact detailed description of what happened on the 3-hour stream I did for following that event. So that VOD is still on the channel. Check that out if you want to hear exactly what my misplay was. It was a really, really bad misplay. I should have, and by the way, it's against the guy who ended up going 8-0 in Swiss. So his name was Joshua Jordan.
You would have beat him.
I won game 1, like I did almost everybody else. I won 7 out of 8 game 1s. I won game 1. And game 2, I have him cooked, Kenny. Like, he's top decking, and all I have to do is one little thing, and I have him dead to absolute rights, and I just completely brain farted, wasn't present, wasn't locked in, made a really, really bad blunder, and then he wins game 2, and then game 3, I go first, because the thing is, like, Frogo TK is so broken, I can win game 1, I can lose game 2, but now I'm going first again game 3. And anything can happen because it's just a broken deck, and Frog's going first is so powerful. So I was just like beating a lot of people, either 2-0ing them, like I should have 2-0'd him, or by just winning game 3 because I get to go first, and like the advantage of going first is really strong. So my first loss was literally, I should not have even lost, and I could have maybe even had a better record or whatever. But that gave me a lot of confidence. I was like, okay, I can do this. And again, my opponent doesn't really matter when it comes to like the way I feel about that deck, because I take away your agency. That out the way, the scandal. Now, I want to preface this by saying I do not, because this happened months ago, I do not have necessarily all the facts exactly as they happen when they happen, but I know the general idea of what happened, and I do want to talk about it. I would love to hear Kenny's opinion on this, because I know he doesn't know anything about it.
I don't know what the fuck we're about to talk about.
In the modern in the modern Yu-Gi-Oh community, there is a thing called spreadsheets. And what spreadsheets are the top players, like Pac and some of the other guys, they create these spreadsheets where they sell them. And the spreadsheet will be, it'll tell you like, here's all the combos for the best deck, and here is the deck list. And you can basically you can purchase from them like a tutorial essentially on how to play the deck and what the deck list is.
Okay, so far so good.
And this has been going on for the last several years. This is like a thing. And so it's become a meme to where people, because some people are very against the idea of like, you guys need to just fucking get good. Why would you ever pay some loser for a spreadsheet? Like the people who are against it feel very strongly and they're very vocal about it. And then the other people who are like, bro, just let people do what they want with their money. Like
Meta.gg exists.
Meta.gg exists, exactly, Kenny. So some people who are reasonable are like, bro, let people enjoy things how they want. Some people don't have the time. There's one guy's like, yo, I'm a doctor. I literally work crazy hours. I just don't have the time to do what the best players do that don't have, their career is Yu-Gi-Oh! So like they're content creators, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is their entire thing. They buy and sell cards and they like create content. That is what sustains their lifestyle. So they have infinite time and infinite resources to be able to like hone the skills. And I literally save people's lives for a living, and I have an excess of money. I am willing to trade excess of money for the resource of time to save myself time that I just don't have to have it like catch me up on like, okay, you're telling me this is the best deck. Here's the list. Here's the combos, blah, blah, blah. And if people want to buy
doctors that work 80 hours a week, like,
yes, that is I have a friend, a nurse practitioner who literally works crazy hours. Like, so anyway, money is relative as well. Like people have to remember that what you might feel, because the spreadsheets, let's just say hypothetically, the spreadsheets are like $50. So what people are like, that's so much money. You're paying some fucking loser in his basement $50 for a spreadsheet, and like you could just learn the combos yourself. It's not that hard. But like that is such an oversimplification of what is happening when you buy a spreadsheet. Like the person who sells these classes, these spreadsheets or whatever, these combos, these deck lists, you the guy hating from outside the club, you don't have the information.
Yeah.
And no one does.
I don't know if $50, $50 I know is a number you made up, but I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! I used to play modern Yu-Gi-Oh! And by modern, this was, a very long time ago.
Yeah.
It's an expensive game.
It is.
I don't imagine it's gotten much cheaper.
It has not.
I remember when Master Duel made, like, I wanted to buy a full Dragon Maid deck just because I like the cards.
Yes.
I'm a weeb. And I just wanted the deck. And I think it was one of the pots. I don't fucking remember which pot. But they were like 200 a piece. And I needed, I think, 3 of them. It was like crazy. They were super expensive. And I was like, well, yeah, I'm not doing that. Like, I just want to get these cards for fun. Like, I'm not buying that fucking card. So my point is, when you're spending thousands of dollars to even assemble the deck, what's $50 more to have the best way of playing?
It also tells you what cards you need to actually buy.
Yeah, like that way you're not wasting money.
So they sell spreadsheets.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the scandal.
I have nothing against the selling of spreadsheets, and I even consider doing something similar on Patreon, like selling, either spreadsheets or guides or whatever. I mean, Sizzle literally sells a Vayu Turbo side deck guide on his Patreon, and it does numbers. Sizzle makes good money. Sizzle makes good money selling a side deck guide to the Edison community, and like, I have nothing against that at all, because I could do the exact same thing. The most asked question on our entire channel to this day is a side deck guide for Hero Frogs. That is the most requested thing, and I still have never given that. So I could totally understand monetizing that type of thing. Sizzle already has done it. I thought about doing it. I just haven't done it. Now, here's the scandal part. For a very recent event, this was this year, I believe they either, like the group who sold the spreadsheet, so let's say Pac and his group, because I know it involved Pac, because he got a lot of backlash for this. So Pac is one of the biggest content creators in the modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Space, sells a spreadsheet. He either wins the event or tops the event with a list that is not playing or I should say, is playing a card that they said was like bad, or that they just didn't have in the list that they were selling in the spreadsheet. So basically, like, imagine you're going to this YCS the week of, you buy this spreadsheet, you buy this deck list or whatever from Pack and the boys. Then when they top or win, you see the list and it just has different cards in it. And not only does it have different cards in it, but it has cards in it that they were saying aren't good, or saying like, oh, this isn't that great or whatever. Like, they're downplaying a card and then it's in their deck. So like, community on Zodiac Duelist were dragging him, like raging. I don't even get into this type of drama because it doesn't concern me. It's modern Yu-Gi-Oh! First of all, so like that has nothing to do with me. But it comes across my timeline because I'm a fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! Player and I'm a content creator too. So I see these things and I was like, yo, this is like really big, because every post that the day after the YCS, every single post was like, scammer, like selling these things. Like, how you gonna sell something and then change the list? So you're basically giving fake lists out, and then you and your boys go and top or win the event, and you're playing fucking different cards that and the cards that, you know, modern is, if you play different cards, the combo's different now. Yeah. So it's a big deal. It's not like me playing a new card in Froggo TK. Like, I played like Darkest Dragon this past weekend in Froggo TK, and like, sure, it's a new card, but it doesn't change my combo. It actually is a card that I have to draw to even play it. It doesn't make like the combo different. It's not like Beal's Frog.
Yeah. It's just a different like card for a different thing that might happen, right? But it doesn't change the line.
But modern, putting a different card in deck literally changes the entire like combo. It changes what you can play around. You might be able to play around Nibiru because you play this card. You might be able to play around Ash Blossom if you play this card. You might be able to do all types of weird shit. That's just how modern is. And this is, again, I don't remember all the exact facts, and it's definitely an oversimplification because I don't understand modern on the level. But I do know that they sold a spreadsheet. They sold a deck list and a spreadsheet. And when they played in a tournament and did well at the tournament, it was not the deck that they were selling. So here's where the main thing came in. The response was, well, we didn't change the list until right before the tournament. We like added in the card that we weren't playing, and we were telling people like, they like, don't play this. We added it in like right before. There was no time to update everybody. It was like already, like, we literally added it in like 8 a.m. that morning. There was no chance to like change the thing. And then the people were arguing like, you could have said to the people who bought the list, yo, by the way, we like send out a Discord message or something, because like, you know, they have this, they have his Discord server and all that shit. They have mass communication, and it's just like how if I wanted to send a message out to all party members right now on Patreon, I could. Like, if I go on Patreon right now, me and Kenny, we could write a post that sends it straight to only main characters, only party members, only NPCs. Like, we have the power to do that. We have the power to communicate with the people who pay money for whatever services we want, right? So people were arguing, you absolutely could have told people like, yo, we updated it. Yes, it's 2 hours before the tournament, but we updated it and we don't want you guys to feel like you got fucking scammed. So here is the updated list, even though it is 2 hours before the tournament, blah, blah, blah. And so that was the back and forth.
You told your friends.
So that was exactly what they were saying verbatim. They were like, you told your fucking boys, all of y'all fucking top with the new shit. And we're playing the old shit that is like not as good. Like, we're blatantly playing the old shit and we pay for it, but you told all your friends. That was the exact thing they said. They were like dragging him. And
I don't know any of these people. I don't know any of their names.
I don't really know them personally. Like, I've seen, obviously I've interacted with Pac. I've seen him. I've talked to him very briefly, but like, I don't know him.
Yeah. So I don't know any of these people. So, you know, I'm not throwing shade to anybody. Hey, if you want to come on the podcast, come on the podcast. I'd love to hear your side of the story from yourself. That said, I don't know any of these people. What I'll say is this, just my opinion, hearing this version of the story is this. I think it's wrong. I think if you are selling something, because this gets even deeper than I think content creation. Content creation is content creation, right? You're putting videos out on into the world, and they're videos, whatever they may be. But if you're actually having a real transactional service where you say, hey, you give me this money and I give you this, I think that's a very different thing. And if you're like, because maybe what they're saying is completely right. What we sold them was the honest truth, what we honestly believed, everything was like the best that it could be.
Yep. And
then 2 hours before the event, which I also don't believe this to be true. I don't think there's any way 2 hours before the event you decided this went from the worst card to the best card. But let's say that's what happened. 2 hours before the event, you realize this is the best card. It's the nuts. Nobody ever saw it. And you put that in. You have a decision to make. You either, and this sounds crazy, you either don't play it, which sounds crazy. Of course you would play it. You realize something's better. You're a competitor. But if you don't update the people who paid you money for a service, you run the risk of what exactly happening, pissing all of them off. And they have every right to be upset with you and kind of all of the backlash that's happening because you violated their trust. Like, people are willing to pay money. People are willing to pay a bunch of money. If they get the service that they believe they paid for and you made money off of, everybody's happy. But if somebody gives you money and then all of a sudden they feel like they got ripped off, they were lied to, they were swindled. This is why people hate car salesmen.
Yeah.
The reason why car salesman has such a bad connotation is because when you talk to the car salesman convinces you this is the greatest fucking thing. This is the best card. There's no card better. Card, whatever. And you get the car and the fucking engine breaks in 4 weeks. And you're like, what the hell? And then you go back to the car salesman. He's like, oh, wow. I mean, and so the whole point is this gives car salesman vibes. And that's,
Yeah, it makes people feel a little scummy. I typed in pack Yu-Gi-Oh spreadsheet on YouTube, and there's a video by Farfa called The Spreadsheet Drama is Insane. And the thumbnail for it is a tweet that Pack wrote. This is 4 months old. So it was this year. I do remember because it was it was a big deal, but it was 4 months ago. And it's a tweet that Pack wrote is the whole thumbnail. It says, if you're still playing GWC, you're behind. I don't know what GWC is, but I feel like he played that card in the event after writing that tweet and selling the deck list or spreadsheet or whatever. Like that tweet came out, was like, if you're playing this card, you're behind. And then he goes and either wins or tops the event with that exact card. And it was like, we added in like last minute type thing. And so again, I don't know if you watch the video to figure out exactly what happened.
It's not that hard to send a tweet. You could have said, if you're not, by the way, I just want to let y'all know, if you're not playing GWC, you're real behind. Like, it's not that hard to send a tweet. Like, it takes no time.
Yeah.
You can just, boom.
You're right. You're actually right. Because he obviously has a big following.
You made the tweet. You made the first tweet.
Yeah.
Right.
That shit is so funny.
So that's the thing. It gives, to go back to an earlier point, it kind of gives market manipulation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not necessarily of a market, but of the competitive space. It gives manipulation. And some people might say, oh, he's a competitor, he's giving himself the best chance to win. I mean, I guess, but there's a reason why sports have rules and regulations and fouls and stuff.
There's
like that.
gambling rules. There's all types. I mean, there's, when you sell things for period, there are rules to selling things in general. Like false advertising, for example, is illegal, right? That is a thing. You can be sued for false advertising. That is a thing. The government can come after you for doing that. So it's interesting. And I'm not saying that is what this is, because this is like fucking. I don't even know what this falls under. I'm not saying that they like.
But you know what it reminds me of? You know what I thought of? Because it's very different, but it's also kind of very the same. So you do a thing, you blah blah blah. If that tweet's true, if it played out the way you said, like, hey, this is really bad, and then you play it, it kind of has a similar vibe. I'm sure you guys have heard of these, but there'll be like these cryptocurrency discords that you have to pay to get in.
Yes.
You pay like $100 to get it on the Patreon to get in the Discord. Right?
Yep.
And then they tell you a certain cryptocurrency. They tell their whole fan base, like, this is the cryptocurrency for you to get. The thing, and they all buy into it. And then they fucking sell it. Like, because they have it, all their fans buy into it. It raises the stock of what they have, and then they sell it. And so it's kind of the same thing where you tell everybody this card's bad, and then all of a sudden you're playing a card that counters this. So it has like a similar kind of feeling. I'm not saying it's the same. Once again, I don't know these people, and I'm getting like a story that's from a recollection of a memory from a YouTube video from 4 months ago. So Frazier probably doesn't have all the things right, and he's not claiming to have anything correct.
Yep.
These
I just know that
like
they played something.
Ideas.
Yes, they played something that they didn't tell people about. So what this did, Kenny, the people who were already haters of spreadsheet selling felt vindicated when they were like, that's what you guys get for buying these scammer ass spreadsheets and buying into these guys who are blatantly scamming you guys out of your money. Serves you right. I'm glad you all got scammed by them, and now you see them for who they are. So they felt vindicated, but then the people who actually bought them also felt bad, because they're like, damn, bro, I actually do trust you, and I like, I bought this thing thinking that if you did make a change, if there was an update, like, you're giving me the best chance to win, when in reality, you're gatekeeping the real ideas, and you're giving me just like the breadcrumbs, the leftovers, and the real shit you're saving for your team or whatever. Because I feel like it was around a team YCS too, but maybe that's not even, but whatever.
People just wanted patch notes. That's all they wanted.
Yeah,
they wanted patch notes.
Exactly. They wanted the patch notes. And I feel like, and I'm sure that now they've changed the process for spreadsheet selling by now. They probably have a thing like, if we update it, we promise that you will also get the update for transparency. But this was a big controversy this year. I definitely remember him getting dragged in the comments by like a lot of people. And it was, every post was talking about the pack spreadsheet drama and this whole thing. And like, yeah. So I don't have anything wrong with people selling or monetizing their ideas. And if people want to buy it, if there's a market for it, we live in America. The free market is like what we thrive on. We thrive on capitalism. We thrive on just the ability to sell. You can sell anything. You're allowed to sell basically anything. And if people want to actually buy it, then so be it. And I'm not a person to like police what people buy or tell them what they should or should not be buying. I don't know everyone's financial situation to even make that call, right? Like I can't tell you what you shouldn't be paying for. I'm happy for the support, the little support that we get from people, right? Our community is very small, but we love our community. We don't have like 300,000 subscribers or anything like that yet, but I love the community that we built. It's very intimate. Like I pretty much know all the people who are like our main supporters. And that's actually a really cool thing too. Like our day ones are all, we know exactly who they are.
And that's the thing. Imagine how they would feel. Because that's the thing about content creation is it creates a different relationship between the creator and the consumer than a movie star, right?
Right.
You have a much more direct relationship with the people that are consuming your content versus the people that watch Denzel Washington. And so if you lie to them or mislead them or something like that, like it hurts a lot more. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like much more of a betrayal because it's like, yo, like I trusted you. Like I support you. You're this like small developer. You're making things. And like, I support that. And I was rooting for you. I'm giving you money. I'm rooting for you. And then like, you kind of went behind my back and betrayed me. Like it has a different sting to it. So I completely understand. And that's why, like, it's just, you know, it's not something I can put it on right now. You'll never see it from me. You'll never see it from me.
Right. I wanted to ask you, have you ever heard of this thing called parasocial relationships?
Yeah.
So I'm going to read the definition real quick on Google. Now, this is definitely a little bit different than what we're talking about because it seems like it's concerning more of celebrity, but a parasocial relationship is a one-sided connection in which a person feels a close emotional bond with a media figure, such as a celebrity or fictional character who is unaware of their existence. These relationships are fueled by repeated interactions with media, now amplified by social media, and can provide comfort and a sense of companionship, but also have negative consequences if they replace real-life relationships. So the key characteristics of a parasocial relationship are one-sided. The relationship is not reciprocated. The media figure does not know or interact with the individual personally. Then there's emotional investment. The individual develops strong feelings, including affection, loyalty, and a sense of intimacy, as if they know the figure personally. Then media mediated. These connections are formed through repeated exposure to media like television, movies, books, and social media platforms. And then how they develop illusion of intimacy. Media figures often foster an illusion of intimacy by using direct address to the camera or a conversational style, which makes the audience feel as though the content is directed at them personally. And then it says, and the last one I'll read is social media facilitation. The rise of social media allows for more frequent interactions, like following someone's posts or watching their streams, increasing the feeling of knowing them. What do you think about that? Because like streamers often get these weird situations with people who they don't really know.
So a couple things. One, that is like the true definition of parasocial. There's like, you know, I think people also now apply it to kind of like YouTube and stuff. And stuff.
I agree.
It is slightly different because it's no longer once like I am aware of people's existence. Right. So it's not quite the same thing.
Yep.
But in a lot of ways, I think all that does is actually make it stronger. It's still a parasocial relationship because at the end of the day, you're not coming over my house. You're not eating dinner with me. Like you're not actually a person that lives with me in my house or like, you know, like if I get hit by a car, my mom's not going to call you. You know, they might call Frazier and say, "Hey, he's not at the podcast. That he's in the hospital." You know what I mean? But,
right.
But it creates an even stronger thing because it's no longer one-sided, even though it is still kind of parasocial in some ways. But yeah, I mean, it's dangerous. There's people that have died because of parasocial relationships. I forget the name.
The
but,
one singer,
the
girl singer who got killed at her meet and greet because a guy like has some weird obsession with her. They never met before, but he just felt like she belonged to him in some weird way. And he felt like if I take her life, that will let me have her forever, basically. It's just like some very sick and demented person, right? And these people exist, unfortunately. Mental health is a real thing that we all need to, you know, work on and make sure that we have our mental health just as healthy as your physical body. It's very important. But he took, I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't remember her name, but
me neither.
It happened at a meet and greet. This guy just like this psycho person just killed this famous singer. And I mean, even Selena's death, right? She died to like a woman who I think was her manager or like something like that. The person was like close to her.
Here's one that I heard about recently that was crazy. Miranda Cosgrove, she was the girl from iCarly. She was also the little sister in Drake and Josh. I saw like a random podcast of it was because I think Josh from Drake and Josh has a podcast or something. I don't really remember the details. And then he had Miranda Cosgrove on it, girl from iCarly. Anyway, she becomes mega popular, right? So she ends up getting a stalker. She has a stalker. It just, everybody knows what a stalker is. I don't got to explain that. She has a stalker. It's really scary, all these different things. But something ends up happening basically where the stalker decides on this day that he's going to kill her. And
oh my God.
By happenstance, and I might be getting the story slightly wrong, but by happenstance, she wasn't home that day. She went to like her mom's house or something. And the stalker went, I think, like broke into her house, tried finding her and killing her. She wasn't there. And then I think he ends up just killing a random woman and then killing himself or something like that. Because like he went there to like kill Miranda Cosgrove and then kill himself. And then he doesn't find her. And then I think some random other bystander basically just gets killed in the process.
Wow.
And or maybe not killed or just seriously injured. I don't fully remember. But yeah, I mean, it's scary. It's really scary because it's probably some guy that just watched every episode of iCarly and for whatever reason grew some obsession with her and then became a stalker and then so on and so forth. All these weird things happen. And then, she almost lost her life.
Yeah, it's scary. The parasocial thing. So it doesn't always have to be murder or like obsession to the point where they want to physically harm you. It can also just be people who feel like they know you based on all the things that we listed. So like just social media, they're following you, they watch your streams, they interact with you even in chat and stuff like that. They interact with you, through social media or whatever. But you guys don't really know each other. And it's just how Kenny said, if something happened to Kenny or me, our folks would tell the other one, because me and Kenny have been friends for 15 years. I know him. I've stayed over his house. I've eaten dinner. His mom's cooked for me. I've been to all type. I know Kenny very well. Kenny knows me very well. And we're like real life friends, right? But some people will interact with their favorite content creator and develop a parasocial relationship with them where they genuinely feel like without never having met this person or really like knowing them on a deep level outside of content, that they are like friends or best friends or something. And it can get a little weird where people start to overstep boundaries and they start to have what's the word I'm looking for, where you feel entitlement. They start to have entitlement to certain things.
Here's the thing. The love is appreciated and the support is appreciated. All that's really good. And then it gets reciprocated, from us back, or not even just us, any content creator back, whatever. All of that is good and healthy or whatever. But everybody involved has to understand the boundaries. I think to shine the light back on the content creators, for example, like, because right now most of the negatives being talked about are like from the fan side.
Yeah.
There's certainly content creators that abuse this relationship, that they know that their fans have a love for them or whatever for them, and then they abuse it by getting certain pictures sent to them, right? There's a lot of content creators that have gotten in scandals because they've had their fans send them nudes or perform favors for them and things like that, and they are blatantly abusing the fact that they are their fans and they're taking advantage of that. So like it can be abused and mishandled on both ends of the spectrum, from the fan and from the creator. And on both sides, people just need to have respect and have there's a responsibility to not kind of cross that boundary unfairly.
Yeah, I think the parasocial thing is becoming more and more of a real thing as time goes on, because more people are picking up content creation as a secondary thing, or some people even a main thing that they do. And so, you develop a fan base. If you're good at it and people really fuck with what you're doing, it is a blessing to have people genuinely want to support you, to talk to you, to interact with you. Like I could stream and nobody could watch, right? Like there's a world where literally no one wants to watch if I stream, but then there's a world where I stream and I start talking about whatever, and there are hundreds of people watching, and I've experienced both of those. Like I'll be playing games, and like if I'm playing, some random game, there'll be like 8 people watching the video, and then if I'm talking about Yu-Gi-Oh, there's literally hundreds of people watching me stream, and I'm talking to them and I'm interacting with them. I don't know everybody who's in the chat. Like I know some of them, but I would say the bulk of them I don't actually know. But I love the support. We all love the support, and I on a real celebrity level, like people who are actually famous outside of Yu-Gi-Oh, I can't even imagine what they go through in terms of just the crazy things that fans might say to them. One of the things that I know happens a lot, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and some of the podcasts that I listen to, well, most of the podcasts I listen to, the people are famous by now because they're just huge platforms. They talk about how they'll be out at like Target or something, and a fan will spot them. and they will ask for a picture, and the content creator or celebrity or whoever will just be like, hey, not today. I'm just like in my sweatpants. I got a spaghetti thing. I just came to grab some pasta sauce. We ran out of pasta sauce. I'm running to the store real quick. I look a mess. Like I'm not in picture ready mode. And the person who asked for the fan will go, oh, I don't care. Like I don't care that you look a mess. Like basically saying like, oh no, it's like no, you look fine to me. And the celebrity has to be like, okay, but I don't feel fine. Like, Like, I get that you are okay with me taking the picture with you because you're fucking fanning out right now. But I'm telling you, from a human to human perspective, I don't want to take the picture because I don't like the way I look and I don't like the way I feel right now. And I have my hood on and I don't even want to be noticed. I have sunglasses on. You still notice that it's fucking me. It's not like the entitlement. And then so what will end up happening? You know what ends up happening? That person who doesn't get their picture will go on the internet and say, I met Gwyneth Paltrow at Erewhon, which is a very bougie, expensive-ass grocery store in California. I met Gwyneth Paltrow at Erewhon. I asked for a picture, and she told me no. She's such a bitch. She doesn't like her fans, and they just go on these tirades. You were just fanned out.
Not even about all that.
Nope. But the entitlement is really scary, and I see why a lot of celebrities choose to not interact on. Like Gwyneth Paltrow is not very active on social media, and a lot of celebrities are just not very active on social media because they do not want to create these false relationships with people that they feel like they know too much because you post. I won't say you post too much because that's not fair. You should be able to post whatever you want to post. But people start to see the things that you post, and because they feel like they have a connection with you, they start to develop this thing like, oh, like we're cool, we're friends. Especially if you ever respond to them or talk to them, then they really feel like, you know, you guys are more than you actually are.
Yeah, it's crazy. They I don't remember who this story is about. It's probably Mr. Beast, but I don't really remember if it was him or not. But something like, you know, you go to the Walmart and like somebody recognizes you and asks for a picture and it feels good. You're like, oh, wow, that's crazy. And like you take a picture with them. And then like you get bigger and then it's like 5 people ask, like 5 people notice you. It's like, and it's really cool. And you get bigger and then it's like, and then all of a sudden, like if you go to Walmart, the Walmart shuts down for 2 hours because there's a fucking just a line of people that are trying to take a picture with you, and it kind of becomes ridiculous. And that's what happens. Like sometimes you just want to go to Walmart and get your pasta sauce or whatever, and you have your mom waiting for you at the house. Like you don't have 2 hours to take pictures with everybody. Right. Some other people will say, well, you know, that's the price you pay for being a millionaire. I don't know.
That's exactly what a lot of people say, which is really crazy to say that, in my opinion.
There's a lot of nuance to it. At the end of the day, people are still people, and
there you go.
There should be a level of respect.
Let's focus on that. Let's focus on that line. People are people. I think people start to look at other humans as circus animals. This is a problem that genuinely happens a lot. You have to check your entitlement. You have to also check people's humanity because they are just a person at the end of the day. They fucking wake up with bad breath. They shit just like you. They piss just like you. They bleed just like you. They have emotions just like you. We are all just humans. None of us are deities. We're not gods. We're literally humans. The same things that hurt you can hurt me, right? Like and so people put their favorite content creators or their favorite celebrities on these pedestals, and they start to treat them like circus animals, and that dehumanizes people, and it's not fair to the people. Like, I get it. These people's jobs are they create content and that's what they do for a living, which some people are like, well, that's super lucky, that's super easy. And to a degree, I agree. Like, I agree. If that is,
it's an easier job than some other jobs, but it's easier than other jobs, but it's harder than people think.
Exactly. It's also relative to, like, work is work. If I have to wake up every day and share my energy with a bunch of people, and I'm not necessarily in the mood to do that today because I'm just not feeling it, because again, I'm human and I'm allowed to have different mood swings and things like that, and I still have to do this to pay my bills, so I still have to work just like you do. Just like you have to wake up every day and go to a job that you don't necessarily want to go to today, but you still have to do it because guess what? You have to pay the bills. You have a child or a wife or a husband or somebody, people who depend on you to pay the bills and to make money. Yep. And to provide, and so you have to do it. Like the content creator who you see doing whatever, like they have to do the exact same thing. There are days where they don't feel like turning that fucking camera on and doing it. And even I'm saying this before I even got to content creation, I started to understand, like try to understand it from that perspective. This is not me saying this just because I'm in the space of being a content creator right now. This is just an overall depiction of like humanity.
There's layers.
Yeah.
This stat might not have the stat completely correct, but I remember reading that something like 80% of people that try to stream only ever stream once. Like 80% of people ever do a stream never do a second stream.
I can believe
it's
that.
Like, it's not nearly as like, some people think they're going to turn their stream on and get 500 views.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
That doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't.
Most times when you stream, and I experienced this, I fall through it. I ended up getting a pretty decent like little fan base on Twitch.
Yeah, a community of people that you know.
Yeah, I never got huge, but I built a community. But there were some streams that I had where literally 0 people are there, and you're talking to no one.
Yep.
And there's a level of I don't know what you would call it that you have to stream for 8 hours talking to no one and decide I'm doing that tomorrow.
Yep.
Like
that is true. Me and you, we have that because again, when I'm playing certain games on stream, like there's 4 people watching, and I know that if I turned on Dueling Book for 5 minutes, 100 people.
Yeah.
Like it would, if I just switched the thumbnail and switched to Dueling Book, 100 people.
Yep.
Like minimum.
Yep.
Like right now, minimum, bro, minimum. So it's like there definitely does take a level of, I don't know what to call it either. But some people say nerve, like it do take nerve. That's something I learned from Drag Race, and I agree. I think it applies here. It does take nerve to just stream to 0 people and then get up the next day and say I'm doing that again.
Yep.
And then you get
crazy.
And then you get one person, and now it's just you and this one guy. And for whatever reason, this one guy found your Twitch out of the now probably like not millions, but hundreds of thousands of fucking live channels on Twitch. He found your channel and he's watching you, and he watches you every time you stream for whatever reason, and then it turns into 3 people, and then it turns into 5.
Yep.
And next thing you know, you have like a nice little community of people who just for whatever reason they like watching you, but it didn't start like that, and it doesn't always start like that, and it's very interesting. Yeah. But at the end of the day, to the point of like parasocial relationships, I've met celebrities before, and I have literally tried and succeeded at not overstepping and not making them feel a certain way. Like I literally, so one of the celebrities I saw very recently was Bobby Shmurda in New York. He was just walking down 34th Street, and it's 9 a.m. and I was with my friend. We're going to brunch in New York. We just got off the Amtrak, and he's like, "Yo," he texts me. He's like, "Yo, is that Bobby Shmurda?" And I look over. People don't know he's the rapper who was locked up for a long time.
Dance.
Yeah, the Shmurda that you throw the hat up, you do the da da da. Like the little dance. Mitch caught a body about a week ago. Like that was really big, like 10 years ago, whatever. Really, really famous rapper at that time. Obviously not as famous now, but we saw him walking down the street. And that's the thing. Also, that's the thing that happens in New York. We also saw a famous actress from the Fast and the Furious in Rick Owens. I was in a Rick Owens store. It's a very expensive clothing store if people don't know. And it's in New York. It's in Soho. And there was like, she had no bodyguards, no protection or anything. But my friend, I didn't know her because I've never seen a Fast and Furious in my life. My friend again texted me. He's like, "Yo, that's," and I was like, and she says, so for people who watch Fast and Furious, you might know who I'm talking about by the description. She is a Latino woman. She's a bit older now. She's
probably Michelle Rodriguez. That's my girl, bro.
I think that's exactly who it is because it's probably
Michelle Rodriguez, bro. That's my girl. That's Michelle Rodriguez.
It is her. Yeah.
She do something to me.
Or I think it's her. I'm going to assume it's her because I can't imagine unless there's another Latino woman who
might be, but Michelle Rodriguez is my girl. I love her. So
I remember her being in no security, no nothing. She's just shopping in Rick Owens while I'm in there. And once I noticed her, I was like, I'm very far away because the store is pretty big, like the way it's like long. So I'm far away from her, but I'm staring because I'm like, that's so crazy that she is literally in one of the biggest movie franchises of all time. Like,
yeah,
and she is just
in here chilling.
She's just right there. Again, no one's with her. She's just buying Rick Owens just like I am. And so, okay. So my point is, when we saw Bobby Shmurda, when we saw Michelle Rodriguez, obviously there is a moment in your head where you're like, I kind of want to get a picture with this person because they're a fucking celebrity, right? Like, I want to get a picture. But for me, I always just think like, I kind of don't want to do that to them for whatever reason. That's just the me thing. I just don't want to do that to them because I'm okay with just seeing them and being like, it's cool that I ran into this person, but I don't need to get the photo. I don't need to like make them smile for a picture that day or whatever. I'm okay with just, I literally sometimes if I see somebody who's like super famous or whatever, I'm okay with just like a slight acknowledgement. Like, hey, I love your work. And I keep it very simple and I just go about it that way. And I don't try to take too much of their time, but I totally understand. And I get it. Some people do want the memory and they want to show their friends and their family. I ran into my favorite actress or I ran into my favorite rapper or my favorite whoever. And I totally understand. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But what is wrong is thinking that person has to take the picture with you.
Yeah.
That is where it's wrong. When you think that they have to do it and they tell you no, and you're so blown away and taken aback by the fact that they told you no, and it becomes a problem where you go online and you say that person is a bad person and that they're ungrateful because they were put in this position so that they do have to do those things. It's like, well, that's not how that works.
I've only ever taken 4 fan pictures in my life, and they all were in the same weekend of like me being a fan.
Yeah.
So the 2 of them were Penn and Teller.
Yep, and I know you love them.
Yeah, they're like super high on my list of just people that I fucking love. And I went to Vegas in 2012 for Evo, and my luck, it was the year before. Who would have guessed the next year would have been Melee? Not me. But I went in 2012, and like I spent a lot of money getting there in 2012. I entered KOF 13, I entered Street Fighter 4, and the next year Melee was there, which is so crazy, and I wasn't able to go. But so I was in Vegas, and then I went to the Penn and Teller show. Like I paid money to be at the show, and then afterwards they do a meet and greet and take pictures with you. So it's like a situation that they set up. They're willing to take a picture with you, so it's like not awkward at all, really.
Right, because that is the point. It's a meet and greet. It's meant for this exact purpose, which I love that, by the way, because that the expectation is there.
Yep. And then the other 2 where it was somewhat similar, but it wasn't exactly the same. But it was Gutex and Mike Ross, who in a similar way to Penn and Teller. So Gutex and Mike Ross, if you don't know, they did the Excellent Adventures of Gutex and Mike Ross. In my opinion, one of the best like YouTube series that ever existed. And I think specifically my biggest inspiration when it comes to content creation, I remember there's an interview with Mike Ross where he's talking to Bobby Scar from Melee, and they're talking about content creation or whatever. And I don't remember the exact quote, but Mike Ross essentially says something along the lines of like, if you love doing it, and it's just like, just do it every week or something. Like, I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something along the lines of like, just like keep doing it, build the consistency and keep doing it. Because otherwise it'll never be successful. Like if you don't keep doing it, it won't ever be successful. So like you have to whatever. But Mike Ross is like, in terms of like fighting game community, whatever. So anyway, I took a picture with Mike Ross and Gutex, and they're like, in terms of content creation, probably my biggest inspiration. So, which funnily enough, by the time you guys hear this podcast, I think the video will be out. But me and Stango literally are doing a series on the IMNerd channel called The Inspired Adventures of Kenny and Stango, which is all in the name. It's very clear what that series is. So, yeah. But I've only taken 4, and it was all in the same weekend. I don't think I've ever taken a picture with a famous person other than those 4 pictures, Penn and Teller and Gutex and Mike Ross, which both also happen to be duos, which I think is kind of funny about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's really cool that you have that experience. And again, you were in a setting where that type of thing is like the expectation, really, right?
Yeah, one was at Evo where they were, I don't remember exactly how it was set up, but they were expecting to take pictures with people. And the other one was after a show where they also
you didn't catch them grocery shopping and they were like
no
you weren't in Vegas and they were literally eating dinner at PF Chang's and you go up to them while they're fucking stuffing their face, which I also think is really rude, and people do this to celebrities all the time. They will see them eating or see them with their child, and that's another boundary. It's like, bro, and in the celebrity be like, hey, I'm with my family right now, not right now, and they'd be like, can I just get one picture, please? My daughter loves you. It's like, bro, I'm with my kid. It's a no. And
Eminem dealt with that a lot. Yes, he wrote songs about it.
Oh, really? Like that's what Stan basically is like derived from?
Yeah, Stan kind of, but then also there's like a lot of songs of him just like talking about like, yo, I'm just with my daughter. Like I'm with my daughter. Like please not right now. Like just please.
Especially if you don't always have your kid. You don't know people's situation. Like this might be precious time that they get to spend with the kid and the parent relationship, right? And again, you just don't know people's situation. Expecting that this person makes a bunch of money doing this, and so therefore they're entitled. Like you feel entitled to them having to do this part that is not actually part of their job, by the way. But like you feel entitled to it for whatever reason. You develop this parasocial relationship with them where you feel like you've watched so many of their stories, you've liked so many of their pictures, you feel like you've contributed to their success in some way, and in a way you have. Not to say that you haven't, but that still doesn't give you the right to treat them like a circus animal. And I'm really big on that. And the older I get, the more I try to understand that perspective of like, I love Beyonce. Like
there's a time and a place. There's a time and a place where you can take a picture. A great example, like I said, the Penn and Teller thing was the time and place. A great example, I could have gotten this picture, but I didn't. I didn't even ask. I met Kevin Hart. He was at a bar that I worked at.
I'm getting that picture. Fuck that. Kevin, you going to dance for me. I'm getting that picture. Throw out everything. If I see Kevin Hart anywhere in life, you going, Kev, I need that picture, bro. We both from Kev. Look, we
is,
both from Philly. I need it. Listen.
He would have given it to me too.
My daughter's a big fan of yours. I'm lying and shit. I'm just lying. My gay ass. My daughter's a big fan of you, Kev. Look, I go to all your. I've never been to a stand up, not once. I went to all your stand ups. I've been front row. You probably noticed me, right? You remember me?
Yeah,
like just lying.
So he was at a restaurant that I worked at. He was in the VIP section, obviously, and I was bringing. At the time, I worked the VIP section, so I got a bunch of food, like a whole bunch of food, and I'm carrying. It's a big ass heavy tray of food, and I'm bringing it to the VIP section where Kevin Hart is.
Do you know he's there as you're going to that section?
Yeah, because people were like talking about it. Okay, like, oh, Kevin Hart's there.
It's a big deal.
I'll never forget this one fucking guy. You know how some people have to act so cool. Everybody's all talking about Kevin Hart being there. There was this one guy I remember, like somebody I worked with. He was like, Kevin Hart ain't even funny like that, bro. Like y'all are capping. Blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't think the word cap was used at this time. This was a really long time ago.
Right.
He was essentially saying that. He was like, y'all like Kevin Hart, even all that. But anyway, so everybody knew Kevin Hart was there. I'm bringing the food, and I know he's up there. I'm gonna just like, but I'm working. And I know he's just out to eat. So my head, look, I'm gonna drop the food off. It's cool that I'm gonna see Kevin Hart, but I'm gonna drop the food off and leave. No big deal. I'm on the steps, walking up to the VIP room, standing on steps of these like very narrow stairway, holding a heavy ass thing of food. And one of the security guards, not one of Kevin's security guards, one of the security guards for the restaurant I work at, somebody I know, was like, "Yo, you can't go any further." And I was like, I was like, bro, I'm just bringing the food up. He was like, you can't go any further. Like, you know who's up there. Like, you have to give me the food. I was like, I literally cannot hand you this food. And I'm not walking backwards down these steps. I was like, there's nowhere for me to go. I cannot hand you this tray on this stairwell. Like, it's not possible.
Right.
We're going to drop this food. And then this person you're trying to protect from me is not going to get their food. Like, get out. And so I'm arguing with one of my security guards. And then it's so funny because then literally Kevin Hart pops around the corner and he's like, I don't remember exactly what he says, but he has a really animated thing where he's like, "Hey, get out of his way and like bring me my food." Like,
yeah,
he says it in a really funny, like, let that man do his job. Like, get out of his way, and like tells the security guard like to move out of the way. And so I bring the food up and I give him the food, and he's like, "Oh, sorry about that." Or he says, I don't even remember what he says, but he like, I have a really small interaction with him, and I'm like, "Oh, whatever, it's all good. Thank you so much. Your comedy's amazing. Like go Birds or something." Like something like
yeah, like just anything.
And he was like, "Oh, like go Birds." And then like, but the way the demeanor was, I probably could have been like, "Yo, you want to take a picture real quick?" And the mood he was in, he probably would have like, "Yeah, no problem."
Yes. I was like, in that moment, yeah.
I was like, you know what? I've already I don't want to be the reason my security guard was already trying to stop me from coming up here.
Right.
I'm going to give this man his food. I had an interaction, and that story's enough. I can tell people the story. I don't need to show them a picture. And I just left.
Yeah, that's amazing. No, I respect you for also being like, okay, I definitely strongly will want to, but I don't need to.
Wanted a picture.
Yeah,
I wanted a picture.
And there's nothing wrong with wanting it either. Like like I said, I love Beyonce. I would love to do a meet and greet or whatever like that, but I don't think she's ever going to do that type of thing again, because she used to, obviously, when she was much smaller, maybe Destiny's Child days and stuff like that. There's videos of her meet and greets, but now she's just literally top 3 celebrities in the entire world. She cannot go
about,
anywhere.
Like Chris Brown meet and greets. It's
I
like,
see them.
Do not take your girl to a Chris Brown.
I see them, bro. He's also Chris Brown
is
is too big to be doing meet and greets. By the way, they're $1,000 each. They're $1,000 each, and men and women both go to Chris Brown meet and greets. No judgment, but the pictures are always wild, especially when it's Chris Brown and a woman, because like the women will be getting bent over, put in missionary, just all kinds of wild sexual positions. Like obviously some people are just normal, but those don't get posted. The ones that I see on the Shade Room and on Instagram are girls busting it wide open for Chris. Like he is.
Listen, they paid their money. I remember seeing somebody ask Chris like why he still does that, and he's like, "That's what this is what my fans want." Like, yeah, like they support me. I'm gonna support them. This is what they want.
I agree. Like, if Beyonce charged $1,000 for a meet and greet, I would be the first one in line. Like no question. Like no question. Because I mean, I love this celebrity. I love the music. It's such a big inspiration to my life. I'm a big fan. Like I was just front row at the last concert for Cowboy Carter. Like I would absolutely pay for that. And in some ways, I probably do have a parasocial relationship built up in me with her. It's not one of those things where I want to do anything to her or like harm her, but I definitely I would love to like just be that much closer and like in a picture, like a moment, a fashion moment or something like that where I could pose. And that would be awesome. It'd just be fucking awesome. So,
yeah,
but if I saw her at Target, I would, if I saw her at Target, she has no makeup on. She has a hoodie. Like she usually wears, so there's like videos that she will post herself in her movies. But she does like after every concert nowadays, she'll release like a movie in theaters that's like 3 hours long of all the behind the scenes of how the concert came to be. And those movies are amazing to me, by the way. But it'll show her going to places regularly, but she's disguised essentially. And if I did run into her and I noticed like, oh shit, like that is actually Beyonce, her. I still wouldn't like do the thing where I'm like, yo, I know what you like, please picture, like what, like I would not, I would just be I would be like, hey, I'm gonna keep it real brief. I love you. I love your music. And that's all I want to say. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm get out of here because I want people to know this. Bye. Like I would just run away.
Yeah.
But I would absolutely be like, yeah, I just wanted to say that. That's all I want to do. You don't have any makeup on right now. I know that, you know, you're just chilling right now. You're in fucking Target doing your thing. Like, oh, love it.
You're the best. Bye.
You're the best. You're the best. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
You're the best. Love you. Bye. Slay. Anyway.
No.
Oh God. All right. Well,
yeah. I think that's it.
I think that's it. Yeah, let's wrap this one up. So, guys, let us know. I would love to hear what you guys think about all the things we talked about. The spreadsheet situation that happened months ago with Pac. Now that it's completely, you know, in the past, I feel like it's a lot lighter. I remember when it first came up, I could have brought it up on the podcast and made a salacious podcast about it at that time for clicks, because it would have got fed into the algorithm at that time. And it would have, I'm sure that podcast at that time would have did like way more views and stuff than this one will get, where it's like an old situation. But I just was like, I do not want to pile on to this, and I don't really.
A respectful way to do it though, because it's an interesting thing to talk about.
Yes,
but you didn't feed into like the drama cycle of it. So.
And it came up organically in this episode. Like I didn't know going into this that we were going to talk about that at all. That was not on the agenda.
No, we had a plan for what we were talking about today.
We always have a plan.
And as normal, that didn't happen.
Yeah. We just know we always have a plan. And 90% of the time, we don't stick to the plan. That's just know that.
Nope.
So I'm going to get the shout outs ready for the people at the party member or higher tier. I'm kind of loading up Patreon right now. You guys are awesome. There are so many of you. Don't forget, November 8th, there is going to be the IMNerd Circus Series Part 2. So we're having another 1K. It's Edison format, $1,000 cash prize. You need to be a party member or higher on Patreon. You need to be an active party member or higher. That is the only qualification you need to play in this tournament. Last time it ran really smoothly. We had a good top 8. Gigavice won its first almost major. It was 80 players. If we had 20 more players, it would have been an Edison major. So it would be nice if we can get 100 players for this one. I'm not going to put any expectations on you guys to do that, but if we end up getting 100 players, so be it. I will be very pleased with that. But we did hit 80 on the very first one. We hit 80 players, which is actually, so people were calling it a mini major, which I like that. Like, you know, it's almost there. It's the chibi major.
80 people, and it had very competitive.
Yes,
but the people that entered were competitive.
That part cannot be denied. There are literally people who have won events. Some people won multiple events, like Samu and stuff, who entered that event. So it was a very competitive event. That part cannot be denied. But yeah, so I'm going to give a shout out to 50K to take Kenny to a spot in the woods. Nova Leo.
Oh, no, why me?
That's the first one right there. Nova Leo, Quest, Xavier Swift, This Ain't God, This is Stanley Earl, Hanging with Epstein, Trey Taylor from Crew Tractor, Henry Reynolds.
Oh, I know why. Because that one episode I said, you know.
Oh, yes. You lowered the price.
$1 billion. And I was like, I'll do it 50K.
Yes, you did.
I'll do it for 100K. I'll do it 50K.
Just lowering it for no reason. There's always that one guy. Okay.
Because you got to lower for no reason to make it, because maybe somebody will actually offer it to you. No one's offering you a bill.
Yeah, no one's offering you a bill.
Maybe somebody will offer 50K. I don't know.
And then you can be like, I was just joking, but what can we do for 50K?
Hey.
Like, what can we do? Anyway, Trey Taylor from Crew Tractor, Henry Reynolds, Red Vines, Mitchell Niles, Vince, Dallas Bailey, KJ, How Much Media You Got, Sarah Maria, Alex Ahern, FT Campa, Edison Club, Big Bora, Grok, Sugal, Vicky Venomon, Elijah Barfall, Tal Jadeo, Volvita Mega Monarch. We need more segregation. Frazier 2025. I did say that. Janitor 215, Joshua Carroll, Eric Chai, Wayne Bangui, Brian Moore, Dark World Emperor Ty, Gingerilla. I met Gingerilla at RBET Chicago. Shout out to him. Darling Hold My Hand. Tim Bailey can only do what Freerun can do. Real Nika, Carmack Newton, Kenny, I got 50K for you, dog. Hershey Bar.
Hey.
Speaking of which, right?
Hit me up. I'm on Discord, baby. Hit me up.
Kenny, I'll let you read page 1.
In Poyster, Tyler Frazier, Sasha Egger, Daniel Anderson, Deroa, Ask the Master Sleeping is Goated, Jordan Eastman, Robert Light, Cass Vol 95, Clanger, Fantan Andrea, HT19, Gregory Calmaring, Charles Thuren, Limp Bizkit Jigsaw, Mike and John, Rich Silverberg, Santi, Frago, Anthony Japal, Michael Zhang, Tyler, Chris Louie, Luis Juarez, Julian Weidman, The Hopeless One, Nicholas Cook, Ian Baylor, Choo Choo Train, Raj, Chris Kemp, Golems are people too, Trace Kreminga, Cam Run, Pearson Boyer, Orleok, Daniel Brando, Jackson Conrad, Chris Flores, Blake Smith will deep fry your Twinkie, Smiley Face, Justin Herman, Jake Tammer, Chess Prime, Connor Ketchum, Nova HD, Mass 22, Idris Hosni, Chris Johnston, and Joseph.
Thank you guys so much for all your support. November 8th, another 1K. Also, we do drop Patreon exclusive episodes for people who are on the party member or higher tier. So if you enjoyed the podcast, you get an extra episode every single month. And we will be doing the September episode very soon since it is the end of the month. I just realized that this shit has crept up so fast. But we will be doing a Patreon exclusive very soon. Yeah. But we will be doing that as well very soon. So look out for that. And there are over 50 Patreon exclusive episodes out there. So if you haven't dove into that collection and you're a party member or higher, you are doing yourself a disservice because those episodes, if you like the podcast, you're going to like those episodes because they are actually a little bit more uncut and unhinged than the regular podcast. We say things that we normally, won't talk about in the public episodes. Just put it out there. So definitely check those out if you're interested. And if you already are, at that tier, you might as well, right? It's something that you are technically paying for. So why not get that benefit? I know some of you just like to support and I appreciate that as well. But, you should also use some of those benefits. So just putting that out there. And guys, as I always say, do the things that make you happy, including talking about a rant of topics with one of your best friends. And we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
So long, Gabe Bowser.
So long.